Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Buddham dhammang sanghang namasami. Dear friends, I thought tonight to speak about renunciation. This is the Pali word nekkhamma, sometimes translated as non-desire. We were talking last week about kama tanha, or the craving for sense pleasures, including the craving for wealth, possessions, and social relationships, as well as the enjoyment through the senses of the enjoyable things that we encounter. And we saw that the enjoyable, blissful state of seclusion from sensual desire or sensual craving is the middle way between the two extremes of luxurious materialistic lifestyle and the life of self-mortification through extreme punishing self-torture. This word nekkhamma comes up in a couple of places in a sort of stock phrases. I want to help you get situated in terms of how it appears in the suttas. It's so interesting. When I was preparing for this, I listened to a few Dhamma talks and articles in the popular magazines, and it seemed like the people thought about giving things up, having a life of simplicity, doing with less, and that is part of it, but it's not the whole picture at all as it's given in the suttas. Nekkhamma is in a way a term that's sometimes used for the monastic lifestyle, wherein we are actually letting go of some of the pleasures and entertainments of life. So the monastics are not accumulating wealth. They're not accumulating a family. They're not involved with sex. They're not involved in dancing, music, singing, and shows. But they are allowed to use a few simple things related to the requisites of life. Namely, we have to eat, and we need to have a robe to wear for modesty and for protection from the burning sun and the wind and the mosquitoes and insects. And we're able to have medicine to eliminate painful feelings of illness, and I said we take food and we use shelter. So all of those things are the simple enjoyment of the renunciate monastic style can be very enjoyable. And it's even possible, although not, I don't think it's a common thing, it would be possible for a corrupt monastic to take a materialistic approach to the few things that they're allowed to have. Um, and likewise, a person who's in the lay form, if they are Buddhist, uh, probably they will have given up using intoxicating drinks and drugs, which lead to carelessness. So that's one big source of sensual pleasure that uh, um, the typical Buddhist is avoiding. And also, if they're uh, uh, an educated Buddhist, they might have learned that it's a good opportunity to take additional renunciation precepts on the occasion of going on retreat or the occasions of the full moon and the new moon opposite days, or sometimes on the quarter moon day. So on the 1st, the 8th, and the 15th of the month, um, a person might uh, abstain from sex, abstain from taking food after noon, and abstain from using high and luxurious uh, things and having dancing, music, entertainment, and shows. So they just um, take that a few days of the month on a regular basis, or the occasions that they can take on retreat, to drastically simplify. And in so doing, this is a chance to test to what extent we have any attachment to those materialistic kinds of pleasures. The second point of the Noble Eightfold Path is the first point is right view. It's the understanding of the Four Noble Truths, basically, or of dependent origination or causation, um, uh, of the uh, characteristics of reality. And then the second point of the Noble Eightfold Path is sometimes called right thought or right intentions. And that is typically explained as uh, nakama, abhyapaja, and avihingsa. So the nakama is renunciation, and it's said to, as it was taught to me, uh, that there's a strong implication of generosity, giving and sharing in in that context. And then abhyapaja is non-ill will, not holding grudges, not cultivating hatred. And avihingsa is not harming, not causing any harm to any creature. These uh, uh, steps of right thought uh, would arise very naturally and normally if one really understood the Four Noble Truths. So if you know about dukkha, uh, you would not want to continue with the round of samsara, buying and creating more and more dukkha for yourself, or creating dukkha for others, or creating dukkha for both. You would definitely see the danger, the serious, grave danger of intentionally doing harm to another creature. And then as a result of that, the rest of ethics and morality sort of arises from that. But then you can also say that in a certain way that morality does arise, or ethics arises from this nekama, from this renunciation of greed. All the faults of stinginess and hoarding, and uh, not not sharing, and the um, willingness to take care of your own self-interest at the expense of the welfare of others. You could connect all of that with that materialistic idea of building up wealth, or this feeling that if somebody has, with a wrong view and a lack of understanding and wisdom, they think that uh, they can build up enough wealth to guarantee that they'll have a comfortable and happy life, and they can build up social capital by having a good reputation, having a lot of friends and being popular, and having uh, a social status that gives them superiority over the people who are below them, and that their social status and all these other things are going to provide some sort of a security and secure happiness. So when you see that that doesn't work, when you really see the danger um, in all of that, then renunciation comes kind of naturally, and it's much more beautiful. And a person who is naturally humble and not arrogant, who uh, is has the simplicity of honesty and a simple lifestyle, instead of just uh, uh, having a false kind of glorying in materialistic things. Um, you could see how that person is likely to have what would you could call a beautiful ethics. When the Buddha was teaching householders, it was very often a pattern that he would first teach them about generosity, giving, and then about ethical conduct, straightening the um, uh, good result that comes from ethical conduct. And then he would teach about, sometimes would teach about the practice of loving kindness, and radiating the thought of loving kindness in all the directions towards all beings without any exceptions. And he would teach about heaven. And heaven is referring to uh, the heavenly rebirth, which is available for a person who has got sort of a basic level of right view, and who is really excellent in generosity, ethical conduct, and kindness, although they may not have had the breakthrough to wisdom. Nevertheless, they could have a sort of a heavenly existence and be aiming for heaven. It's like I'm living my life so that my next life will be heavenly. And because I'm living that way, this very life on earth, although we're still subjected to um, the frailties of having a human body and all the problems of things, nevertheless, our existence is kind of heavenly if we're living in a way that's going to take us to heaven later on. And then the defect of heaven, which is that it's impermanent, not the final solution. Then the Buddha, typically when he's this is appears in many different places, he would explain the drawbacks of sensual pleasure, the corruption of sensual pleasure, the danger of sensual pleasure, that if one becomes elated, excited, and joyful and happy because of getting a little pleasure, then just because those pleasures are so fleeting and so impermanent, then if you've identified with that without any reservation, then when those pleasures are finished, or when you lose what you had, then you may feel sad and be weeping and wailing. And so that's the danger. Uh, and then he teaches the benefit of renunciation. And in this case, renunciation is really not just the materialistic thing, but it's the renunciation of the unwholesome, all of the unwholesome mental factors, which then opens the way for samadhi, or for that blissful meditation. So when a person has nakama, they will have, they're very close to gaining the seclusion, the mental seclusion from kama, or sensual desire, and the seclusion from any unwholesome state, which is the entryway to jhana practice. Um, so if we could find out how lovely and pleasant is this renunciation, what a relief it is to be free from craving and attachment in connection with um, things and people. And in that case, it will be possible to enjoy the natural beauty and goodness of things, and what is naturally beautiful and good in people. And so then one can be, in a way, fully present, fully alive, with an attitude of, I could say, contentment, able to enjoy the pleasant feeling that comes along from those nice contacts with nice objects, without becoming elated or excited or grasping or arousing uh, of greed, arousing because of those pleasant feelings. And then the reverse flip side of that is that when we have contacts which are not pleasant, if we are practicing renunciation, it's not necessary to freak out just because we've encountered something unpleasant. So one doesn't have to weep and wail and fall into a depression or fall into grief, sorrow, lamentation, and to fall into confusion just because of something unpleasant. So in this way, with renunciation, um, it's sort of leading to a kind of another set of teachings about Vedana. That's the feeling states. There are pleasant feelings, unpleasant feelings, and neutral feelings. There's a certain way in which there's a certain connection between morality and feeling, in the sense that a person who does evil, unwholesome deeds, or has evil, unwholesome thoughts, and so forth, is likely to subsequently have painful experiences. And people who practice meritorious um, good deeds and develop good thoughts are likely to have more pleasant feelings subsequently. They say that um, karma is so complicated. There's so many causes, including all the causes that made us take a human birth. So this human state is not completely freed from unpleasant experiences, nor is it completely freed from pleasant experience. It always has both, just because of whatever previous conditions caused us to get born as humans. Uh, but the Buddha did say for sure that doing a intentionally doing a wholesome deed does not lead to dukkha because of that wholesome deed. And doing an unwholesome deed cannot lead to sukha or happiness because of that unwholesome deed. However, in another way, there's a separation between the ethics and the three Vedanas. Even a person who is, just because we experience an unpleasant Vedana, an unpleasant feeling, doesn't mean that we're doing something evil. And so then we can practice with mindfulness to become equanimous towards the three kinds of feelings, and even to because of appreciating that they're impermanent, we can see that unpleasant things are impermanent, so no need to worry about them. And pleasant things are impermanent, so no need to try to identify and grasp onto them, or no need to cling to them. The most extended development about what nekkhamma is and the how-to relating to the bliss of nekkhamma is given in the Salayatana Sutta, which is number 137 in the Middle Length Discourses. I plan to read that sutta this coming Sunday for our sutta study program. And I'm particularly interested in this sutta because most of the other references to it said that the the question we started with last week was, okay, we understand that it's good to abandon uh, uh, sensual sensual craving. And then the next question is how to do it, how to abandon sensual craving. And the statement is given that renunciation is a way to abandon sensual craving. When a monk focuses on renunciation, their mind leaps forth, gains confidence, settles down, and becomes decided. Their mind is in a good state, free and well detached from sensual pleasures. They're freed from distressing, feverish defilements. They don't that arise because of sensual pleasures. So that's how they escape. There's another reference in the so renunciation is given as the escape from sensual pleasures. But how does that work? Well, how it works is explained in the Salayatana Vibhanga Sutta. I'm not going to go through the entire sutta, but the main idea is that one can enjoy the pure, innocent, harmless, pleasant feeling of meditation, of samadhi, without greed. Um, he makes a distinction between there's 6 kinds of feelings: pleasant and unpleasant and neutral. One is associated with the householder, and so there's 3 feelings connected to a householder, and then 3 feelings connected to renunciation. The same 3. So, like when a householder gets something good, then they come to be all excited and happy and joyful because they got something good. And then when a renunciate gets something good, they know that it's impermanent, part of dukkha, because it's part of samsara, and not self, meaning not to be identified with. And because of that, they feel happy, because they're not a slave to the good thing that just came to them. And then the unpleasant feeling of the householder is they lost the thing that they just got before. And then when they lose it, they feel all woeful and upset and sad because they lost what they had. The unpleasant feeling of one who is a renunciate is said to be the Dhamma eye has opened for them. They've had the breakthrough to wisdom. They've had the glimpse of Nibbana. But they think, oh, when will I finally realize the complete cessation of all of the taints, the complete freedom from rebirth, the conclusion of this journey that I'm on, and that's their unpleasant feeling, is one longing for the completion of their spiritual path. And then the equanimity of a householder. Don't feel like I'm insulting householders. Such, let's say, materialistic equanimity, or the equanimity of an uneducated, uninformed person who hasn't thought about it, is that they are not aware. They have the ignorance because they're oblivious to the real nature of things. And so then they don't notice that things are impermanent. They don't notice that these satisfactions are fleeting. And so then they feel equanimous because it's just they don't really care, because they don't notice, because they haven't looked deeply, they haven't seen. So this is an ignorant kind of equanimity. It's like the bliss of ignorance, you could say. Um, and then for the renunciate, it's again relating to these. Uh, it's explained in terms of having the insight into the impermanent, selfless nature of everything that comes, and that also can be the basis for equanimity. But the feelings are also given in terms of jhana and meditation. So you can go beyond materialistic happiness by discovering the bliss of meditation. You can go beyond materialistic um, sadness by arousing your renunciate sadness, your longing for nibbana. Uh, and then with this equanimity based on insight, you can go beyond materialistic equanimity. But then within meditation, your renunciate happiness can help you to go beyond and to transcend the sadness or the dukkha of longing for nibbana. So when you find out how to meditate, then one can fully be in the present moment with the perfection of the present moment, and not um, finding any frustration or wish or dissatisfaction or movement, or wanting it to be something else than what it is. Just simply being fully present for that. And then the bliss of samadhi has a natural tendency to settle down and settle down and settle down into equanimous state. And then with being able to progress within meditation to uh, the state which is let go of um, pain and pleasure, uh, joy and grief, that's fully dwelling in equanimity. So you let go of your renunciate happiness by developing the renunciate equanimity. And then even beyond that, one can go to a further level of equanimity based on unity. That would be with immaterial meditations. Um, and in that way, you even give up the feeling of equanimity. Equanimity is like a pleasant feeling, is a kind of a pleasant feeling. Um, and so within this sequence of working in a wise or with a lot of, I should say, with mindfulness, you've already been working with the internal factors of the mind and found out how to give up the gross negative toxic factors. So you've given up greed, you've given up hatred, you've given up conceit, you've given up arrogance, you've given up restlessness, you've given up doubt, you've given up fear. And you see the danger in all those different states. You've learned how to let go, let go, let go of all those different kinds of states. But then even within the states that can be experienced within meditation, you can continue practicing this letting go and giving up. So you let go of the bliss and happiness of blissful meditation. You let go of the pain of longing for nirvana. And you even let go of the feeling of equanimity. And this is taking you very close to what is given in the sutras as like pointing in the direction like how one reaches the goal. So it's nothing to do with what you gained, it's with what you've let go of. And so then this pattern of renunciation is this pattern of becoming very well established, very capable to let go of everything. And that's the way to reach the goal. So those are my Dhamma reflection. And I would be very happy to have any comments or questions.